Greetings, I'm Stephen Reed, Mayor of Montgomery, Alabama. I'm a proud son of this city, a community that I now have the honor to serve. Despite the past 11 grim months of unforeseen challenges and tremendous loss, I'm here to share with you that the state of our city is stable as its people and strong and resolute as our past. We can never bring back the nearly 350 lives that have been lost in Montgomery due to the deadly virus. But we can and we will move forward, more united and more determined than ever before. 62 weeks ago, my administration came into office with the hope, vitality, and vision for a new Montgomery. That historic day was made possible by a diverse coalition of voters that transcended race, age, neighborhood, and income level. It wasn't about me, it was about we. And we built our victory upon a bond forged through our shared belief in a better way forward. We are standing together still. Before us lies what may be the greatest task of our generation, a challenge that would shake the foundation of any generation and a moment that requires unmatched strength, fortitude, and resilience. Through a collaborative commitment to one another and a unique, unbridled drive to not only survive, but to thrive, Montgomery will continue to weather the storm. We will push past these dark, final days into better days ahead. Things will get better. And while I'm optimistic, we must remain realistic that there will be a long road to recovery from this pandemic. We must stay the course. The trials of today will only fortify our resolve in the challenges of tomorrow. I thank our city employees. We ask more than most of all of you and your colleagues. But not only did you answer the call, but you did so by going above and beyond all expectations. Whether you're on the front lines or working remotely, you never blinked. And in a time of uncertainty, you pulled together and provided steady reassurance to people throughout our city that Montgomery was ready for whatever would come. I thank our business leaders, our community advocates, and our agents of change. You found innovative ways to safely create and operate even at the heights of this pandemic. As a former small business owner, I understand your success came only through tremendous sacrifice. We will everything in our power to cultivate a climate that facilitates strong and steady growth for you in Montgomery. I thank our courageous and selfless frontline responders, Montgomery's medical specialists, healthcare workers, police officers, firefighters, EMTs, grocery workers, sanitation team, and emergency professionals. You prove that when we are hit with the worst, we will respond with our best. You healed and you helped without hesitation. You gave life to hope amid an uncertain and increasingly unsustainable situation. In return for your long hours and tired hands, our community rededicates itself to doing everything in our power to stop the spread of COVID-19. Your testimony gave us strength. It gave us resolve. There's Dr. Eagle Chen. Dr. Chen, who worked with citizens of Hong Kong to receive and distribute N95 masks to his fellow Montgomery medical professionals during the spring shortage of PPE. And James Amos, tall, gentle, and caring. James drove the YMCA of Greater Montgomery's brown bag bus that traveled to different areas in our community to serve lunch to those in need while children were out of school. Or volunteers like Mary Joyce McLean and Audrey Glenn, who helped River City Church with its Loads of Love machine, along with Patrick Aiken, to ensure those experiencing homelessness or without access to showers or washers could protect themselves during the pandemic. And the Bradfords, who started their business in the middle of the COVID-19 by opening Plant Bay downtown, a vegan eatery. And Jacoby Ivory. Jacoby balanced 2 frontline customer service jobs to provide for his family, even amid the COVID-19 pandemic. And while doing so, he took every precaution possible to stop the spread of coronavirus and keep germs away from his family and his customers. We're proud of all of our frontline heroes. This is the spirit of Montgomery. This is why we're strong. This is why we're resolute. The pandemic has not been the only threat to our city. Crime and homicide rates rose nationwide due to a variety of reasons. Some regarding the unchecked availability of guns, some due to unforeseen socioeconomic pressures brought on by this pandemic. However, in America right now, it's easier to get a gun than it is to vote. The result is a surge of violence and loss that bled into our own community. Enough is enough. Gun crime must be addressed at both the local, state, and national levels. I'm ready to take the lead because it will no longer be tolerated in our city. We can't afford it. We will do everything possible to mitigate crime, and more specifically, that tied to the proliferation of illegal weapons and drugs, so that we can feel safe in our homes. Under my direction, Chief Finley and MPD have been directed to research, find, and implement the tools, funding, and resources needed to stop the violence in Montgomery. The time for action is now, and change is already happening. In May, MPD initiated the crime suppression team to strategically target hotspots by removing illegal guns and drugs. Complementing this program, MPD launched the New Violent Crimes Task Force, Targeted Impact and Deterrent Enforcement, otherwise known as TIDE. The TIDE team is designed to identify those operating under the radar and threatening the safety of our neighborhoods. And just last week, MPD's work to strengthen our partnership and collaboration with federal, state, and local law enforcement levels ensured the safety of our downtown and the rest of our city amid elevated threat levels due to the inauguration. Chief Finley will continue using technology like ShotSpotter and the Star Watch program as a force multiplier in 24/7 police operations. Now overall, crime in Montgomery is down more than 13% year over year. However, we know that's not enough. The perception is that it's not safe in our city, and that's a perception and a reality that we must change. MPD's case closure rates rival that of our nation's top departments. Our homicide unit has a 72% solvability rate for 2020. The national average reported is around 63%. That means more violent offenders are off the streets and more families realize justice for their loved ones. But there's more work to do. We will invest in more police training, more police officers who will help us expand coverage and hasten response time in neighborhoods so that those living in peace can enjoy that peace of mind that comes with being in a safe community. We also must invest in increased technology. Safe communities also means having a fair and local criminal justice system and making sure that residents trust and feel secure in the presence of police. That is why I will continue to seek the adoption of a civilian review board. We presented our plan to the City Council and is now under their review. Additionally, I will work to explore municipal court and debt reforms and utilize my powers such as that to pardon and help give residents a clean and a viable second chance. We are also working with the Obama Foundation to launch My Brother's Keeper Montgomery, which can help foster greater collaboration between and resources for mentorship programs. Along those lines, we have looked closely at intervention programs that have worked in other communities throughout this country to reduce gun violence. We cannot just be reactive. We must try and reach our young people and those at risk and others before a crime is committed. And we want to continue to work closely with law enforcement to trace the sources of these guns and those who own them and work within the legal and constitutional bounds to prevent those guns from getting into the wrong hands. We remain dedicated to increasing accountability, transparency, and training in all of our policing efforts. These goals for public safety are not diametrically opposed. I have been asked, which do you choose? Creating a civilian review board or weeding out aggressors of violent crime? My answer is, I will not choose. We can do both. And we must do them both because they go hand in hand. We will have a police force that is responsive and respectful to all of our citizens. But if you commit a violent crime in Montgomery, we will arrest you and we will prosecute you. So our police will be responsive, but we also have to be responsible to ourselves. Our neighborhoods must be safe. We need more community involvement. We need more activity and partnerships from all of us. Because it shouldn't matter what zip code you're in. It shouldn't matter the demographic. All of Montgomery deserves a safe home and a safe neighborhood. And we must continue to do our part as residents of the city to make that a reality for everyone. Now, Amendment 382 was an important initiative, but it wasn't just a referendum on our schools. It was a referendum on our future. We rallied the first vote for our students in 30 years through a broad and diverse coalition of faith leaders, activists, educators, advocates, and parents, a group ready to change Montgomery's trajectory. And that vote sent a message loud and clear beyond this city, that this is a community that believes in itself because we're willing to invest in our potential. But that's not enough. Now we must leverage that investment to build on this victory and ensure all Montgomery public school students have access to a high-quality education. Doing this means working with our new Secretary of Education, who understands the needs of a city, the needs for our public schools, and we're doing just that. Next week, I will call Secretary Miguel Cardona to begin the process of establishing a better support system for our schools. The COVID-19 pandemic pushed us beyond the precipice of analog service and antiquated systems. Our departments quickly adapted and realized new levels of efficiency. The results speak volumes about our success in optimizing operations to streamline government processes and cater to the needs of our customers. That's you, our residents. Even amid the pandemic, our city saw many bright spots that will continue to grow as we recover from the pandemic. The total construction valuations for 2020 increased by more than 15% year over year, and new home construction exceeded last year's total by nearly 20%. Our team in fleet maintenance implemented a new project management process that accelerated their completion rate from 68% to a whopping 97%, keeping our city moving. The city managed to maintain a growth rate of 3% in sales and use tax year over year for fiscal year 2020, and 12,300 business licenses were issued. The Montgomery Internet Exchange, MIX, experienced a 25% traffic increase and regularly exceeded 15 gigabytes, proving to be essential in a time of increased dependence on the internet by regional consumers due to COVID-19. Our IT and radio team collaborated with MPD to ensure all Montgomery students had reliable access to the internet by deploying 10 Wi-Fi equipped mobile internet hubs. Montgomery Fire Rescue retained the highest possible rating that can be awarded to a fire department, a Public Protection Class 1 ISO rating for providing superior protection to residents and businesses. This is a distinction earned by less than 0.2% of fire and rescue organizations nationwide. And despite collecting more trash than ever before, 22,000 tons, our team in sanitation still demonstrated the intangibles that make them one of our highest rated city departments by customers. William Bowles and Coach Chappelle aided in the rescue of efforts of citizens from a burning residential building to make sure no one was stuck inside. Their colleagues at the landfill, a division of only 14 employees, worked overtime on nights and weekends, 7 days a week in some cases, to get the job done. These achievements are a testament to our staff's dedication and resourcefulness. Montgomery's electrical chief, Doyle Storms, is a prime example of those traits. After developing an illness that required days of hospitalization, Doyle, unbeknownst to us, felt called to do his part from his hospital bed as the pandemic tightened its grip on businesses across the country. Doyle secretly begged a colleague to sneak his laptop and cell phone to him so he could stay up to speed during his hospital stay. Next time Doyle takes time off, we're going to cut his cable. But Doyle's colleague, Regina Sigler, made history as the first woman to join the city of Montgomery's inspections department. With more than 30 years of experience as an electrician, joining our team wasn't enough for Regina. She wouldn't settle for breaking the glass ceiling. She is driven to be the very best in her field, regardless of gender or tenure. So Regina made history again this year by becoming the first city electrical inspector to receive International Code Council certification. The Parks Maintenance Division has not missed a single day of cutting and trimming the parks, playgrounds, and medians for the citizens of Montgomery to enjoy during the pandemic. If you added all of the acres they cut during this crisis, it's equivalent to 40,000 acres of property. 40,000 acres. Working hours to keep our parks open and safe since March. Responding to neighborhood needs has also been something they've done. Even offering remedial assistance is an important aspect of reviving communities across our city. To do this, we have challenged the city's neighborhood services department to find new ways to increase their support for beautification and service projects. That challenge was quickly accepted. In the last year, Neighborhood Services annual grant program reinvested nearly $40,000 from grants alone to revitalize residential communities throughout Montgomery's 9 council districts. We did our part too. The city tackled 135 unsafe structures that were blighted beyond repair and threatening neighbors in the community. However, our goal is to save and preserve those that we can. This year, I'm pleased that we will be able to develop a game plan that will result in the repair of 140 structures that have fallen victim to blight. The Digital Emergency Operations Center we launched at the beginning of the pandemic proved to be a game changer that fostered better cohesion, resulting in seamless multi-agency and multi-departmental collaboration. Christy Thornton and her team integrated a solution that eased the flow of information, all while responding to the pandemic and staffing new community resources like our Montgomery Warming Center. Throughout the nation, the COVID-19 pandemic brought sweeping effects to public and private sector budgets alike. But even amid this financial uncertainty, our preemptive fiscal strategy ensured that we weathered the storm without touching our reserves, borrowing money, or initiating any layoffs. We didn't even have furloughs. We did so through the diligence and expertise of our finance team, led by Mrs. Betty Beeville, who balanced a tight budget by making necessary cuts that ensured that we shored up the shortfall. That's why she's our finance director. Although the city was navigating through uncharted financial territory, finance was instrumental in reorganizing the city's debt obligation by refinancing several debt issues and preserving the city cash flow to the tune of $9 million for the current fiscal year. Our revenue division, one of the largest divisions within the finance department, is credited with collecting approximately 73% of the city's general fund. Their hard work kept us moving forward. On top of it all, finance entertained 3 ratings with Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch bond raters. The city of Montgomery maintained its S&P AA rating while other sister cities saw their ratings slightly decline. Fitch rated the city as AA during a time of unprecedented economic uncertainty. We worked to restructure city government based on a model that called for better service at optimal cost for the people of Montgomery. Of course, a healthy budget means also finding ways to better invest in our community and provide the resources to allow Montgomery to not only survive, but thrive. Community centers should be neighborhood hubs that grant greater access to learning opportunities, after-school activities, career training, and more. That's a promise I made when running for mayor, and it's one we're going to keep. $500,000 was flagged in our budget to repair, restore, and reopen our community centers, beginning with Capitol Heights, Houston Hill, and McIntyre. And that's just the start. More support is on the way. We've also paved 80 different streets across our community. Neighborhood connectors and main thoroughfares are in the process of being paved at a rapid rate. From Court Street to Fairview and Hunter Loop to Ann Street, we're investing in doing what needs to be done, things that we want to make sure are priority in our city for our residents. And it's paying dividends. But let me be clear. We won't overcome decades of neglect and short-term decision-making overnight. Some complain and point fingers. However, we have to find solutions, and that's exactly what we're doing. While we have no illusions that we'll be combating this health pandemic for many months to come, we must walk and chew gum at the same time. This means we must continue to pursue an ambitious, bold agenda to make Montgomery a more equitable, vibrant, and prosperous city for all of our residents. We would not limit the breadth and depth of what we seek to do, but our priorities must continue to be making our neighborhoods and our communities safe and peaceful for all residents, and expanding access to educational opportunities from high-quality pre-K to college and career readiness programs, while empowering residents with greater economic opportunities and development. The historic passage of the referendum to invest more in our K-12 schools moved the needle forward on educational opportunities. But we cannot stop there. I will work with our local, state, and national partners to fund and increase access to quality pre-K. This will help us put an entire generation of children on a more promising educational path. And I'll continue to be a champion for our public schools and work with business communities to colleges and nonprofits to make sure that our graduating seniors have had the opportunity for apprenticeship programs and that prepare them for a plethora of opportunities once they cross the graduation stage. I am grateful for the guidance that we are receiving from organizations like Strive Together Network, the Unum Fellows, and other nationally renowned groups. Whether it's college or learning a trade with access to well-paying career jobs, we can and must do better for our young people. We are failing them by not supporting them with more resources and ladders of opportunity that they so richly deserve. We will continue efforts to economically empower residents. We are working with local and national banks and foundations to develop financial coaching programs for city residents and the community at large. From partnerships with City Start, JP Morgan Chase, Harvard Kennedy School, Operation Hope, Bloomberg Philanthropy, and others, we're developing programs and resources that will make Montgomery a more equitable economy. The city will lead by example by implementing a procurement and contracting program that helps mentor and award contracts to minority and women-owned businesses. We will also improve our permitting and licensing processes, especially to make it easier for artists, musicians, and vendors to set up downtown to reach tourists that are coming to visit our city. As outlined in our transition report, economic development cannot be centered on just downtown and in East Montgomery. We must make every part of town a place where businesses and community can thrive. That is why we're working with financial advisors to explore and create financial options such as a community development financial institute and create opportunity that can expand access to funds for development in the most underserved parts of town. This will allow for targeted, intentional focus on bringing opportunities to neighborhoods that need it most. Hand in hand with this is addressing blight. While there is no magic solution, we are looking into remedies such as land banks and funding sources to take down blight and rebuild and repurpose dilapidated structures. The aesthetics of our communities can make a difference in how people feel about their neighborhood and how others think about our city. We'll explore ways to remove eyesores, such as billboards and signage that is excessive. Some other initiatives and efforts we will continue to include making government more transparent. We'll do this by informing the public of city boards and commissions that make important yet often unknown decisions that affect day-to-day life of our residents. The Mayor's Young Professionals Council will continue to be instrumental in helping recruit young adults to seek these positions. Additionally, NYPC will continue bringing me fresh ideas and feedback because they're the source of innovation, they're the source of energy, and they're the source of talent that we need to recruit and retain. So whether it's ideas about TikTok or something that they found on IG, we want to make sure that we're hearing what our young professionals want us to know and we're implementing some of their ideas. We'll also support projects that create more recreational and outdoor opportunities and access to healthy foods, including seeking to have more mobile fresh food trucks that will come into specific food deserts. We will use opportunity zones to rebuild our neighborhoods and make our city attractive and increase investment in some of these areas that have not seen it. We want to make sure that this is done not just for people coming in, but this is done to be safe and attractive for those who live here every day. We will reimagine how and who Montgomery honors and tell its story. Our historical committee will look at name changing that will provide recommendations on people that we should recognize and celebrate with street, park, and other namings. Lastly, while we pursue all of this, we want to continue to tackle COVID-19. We'll be launching a community health worker program to be foot soldiers on the ground to help residents get access to immediate and needed health information and resources. We have been working for months with partners in health and internal public health nonprofit to look at models that have worked in other cities. This will help get us some of our most vulnerable residents much needed support during these challenging times. Progress can already be seen throughout our city. Our city's average housing sector sales prices increased by 21%. That trend is a good indication of a healthy, viable economy, and we want to make sure it keeps moving in the right direction. We partner with the Chamber and the county to announce 25 new and existing and expanding industrial projects with capital investment exceeding $75 million. And to shore up the needs of local small businesses, we launched the Economic Impact Task Force and the Comprehensive Recover Together effort Small Business Hub, which continues to help unite businesses and provide ongoing one-on-one assistance. So far, this program has awarded $445,000 to over 137 job creators through its Small Business Relief Fund. On the eve of the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln was quoted as saying, "I see a storm is coming, but I know there's a God, and I know He has a hand in it. And if there's a place for me, I am ready." So I stand here in Montgomery to tell you that applies to me, but it also applies to you. We don't just see the storm, we're in the middle of the storm. But we know there's a God, and we know He has a hand in it. And if He has a place for us, then we must be ready. Thank you, and stay safe, and may God bless the city of Montgomery, the state of Alabama, and the United States of America.
They had the courage to stand up for change, paving the way for a better today for a new generation. Montgomery is experiencing a resurgence as a county with the courage to embrace the past and to look forward to the future, where people can write their own story, a new career, or a new journey. A place we're proud to call home. Montgomery, come for the history, stay for the future.
We are proud to call Montgomery County home, even during such unprecedented and uncertain times. We are proud of our county, with all we have accomplished, and eager to see what the future holds. Hello, I'm Elton Dean, Chairman of the Montgomery County Commission. I have the distinct honor to address you regarding the state of Montgomery County. I wish to give a very special thank you to my fellow commissioners, Vice Chairman Doug Singleton, Commissioners Dan Harris, Ronald Walker, and Isaiah Sanker. Special thank you as well to the mayor of the city of Montgomery, Mayor Stephen Reed. I wish to give my heartfelt thanks to the amazing employees of Montgomery County. They keep this county running and moving forward. And to the residents of Montgomery County, thank you for loving and believing in Montgomery, investing in the county and entrusting the commission to do what is best for Montgomery as a whole. Thank goodness for 2021. This new year allows each of us a chance to refresh and refocus on what matters most. This past year brought on a global pandemic, the likes of which none of us have ever faced before. Every single person was infected by all that 2020 held. We lost lives, jobs, livelihood, money, sanity, and a sense of normalcy. And unfortunately, even with a new calendar year, this global pandemic and the costly ramifications of COVID-19 are not over. But I believe Montgomery County and all that falls within our great county, from the city of Montgomery to the town of Pike Road, Hope Hull, Raymer, Grady, Penlotta, and every other place in between, is still, through it all, proving that once again we will rise to the occasion and overcome what obstacles come our way. We've done it before and we will do it again. And the way we do it is together. In a few minutes, I'm going to talk to you about the state of our county. But first, I want to talk to you from my heart. You've heard me say it before, and I'm going to say it again. We all live in this one big house, and when it comes to this big house known as Montgomery County, there are major differences in the bedrooms. Right now, the east side bedroom is much nicer with much better amenities than the west bedroom, and it's been that way for so long. When building a house out in East Montgomery, the same house with the same square footage will value at a much lower rate on the west side simply due to the location. It shouldn't be like that. Montgomery County, all of Montgomery County, should be a place where everyone can enjoy working and living here. We want that and need that for every single Montgomery resident. And the way we do that is by every family member of the household working together. Believe that is imperative. Here at the Montgomery County Commission, we are working to ensure each resident is treated as a member of our family, provided with the best resources available. Now, we have several projects underway and in our future, which we believe will help improve the bedrooms in the house we all love, called Montgomery County. One of the projects that will help equalize Montgomery is the county's Whitewater Park. This project will produce dozens of jobs and bring in the revenue we need. Not only will it help the bottom line, it will enhance every resident's quality of life. Another project which recently was completed on the west side, and one I am exceptionally proud of, is the brand new Elton Senior Park. This beautiful 15-acre park has pavilions, a 5-acre pond, playground, and walking trail. It's a place where loved ones can take a Saturday stroll, and hopefully soon churches can hold potluck Sunday dinners and families enjoy reunions. Although I have mentioned the west side, that's not the only area we are improving. The Montgomery County Courthouse is being renovated. The lower level has been gutted and is already complete with a huge new jewelry assembly room for our citizens who serve our county to enjoy. The front of our courthouse will also look better than it ever has, serving a welcome to both residents and visitors. Offices for engineering and IT in Annex 1, where the sheriff's office is located, is also under renovation. This means the county will have a new state-of-the-art data center, which will enhance security and energy efficiency. Flatwood Community Center has gotten a facelift with a new kitchen, additional space to the meeting room, and enhanced ADA compliance bathroom. Here's some more stats for other ways the county is continuing to work towards enhancing the lives of our citizens and the services we provide. Over the past year, county engineer resurfaced over 42 miles of road. You know we have the best sheriff's office in the entire state and the best sheriff. We are proud of the work he and his people do every day to serve our county. The probate office has launched an office app and the no-wait probate app, which allows citizens to get in line virtually and wait from the comfort of their vehicle, home, or office. No longer do residents have to visit a probate office to stand in line for over an hour. They can simply log in to the app, check in line virtually, and then show up within 10 minutes of receiving notification that it is their turn. The county recently launched a new design website, one we are proud of. Not only is it pleasing to the eye, it's easy to navigate and hopefully encourages people to conduct business simply from the computer rather than ever having to visit an office at all. Our work to enhance technology doesn't stop there. The Montgomery County Commission is always working towards being more transparent. We will soon launch a new portal which will allow people to view meetings in real time or rewatch meetings, search through documents of the county's finances. Speaking of finances, like every other county in this country, Montgomery has felt the financial impacts of the virus. Thankfully, we have terrific employees and leaders within the county who continue to take the necessary steps to help weather the storm. To maintain services and avoid layoffs, every department cut its budget by 10%, and the commission implemented a hiring freeze. I am proud of the work of the elected officials, department heads, and finance director have done to balance the budget during these tough times. It's evident COVID-19 changed things up and slowed some things down, but the county didn't stop. We are proud of what we have accomplished through the midst of it all. I am hopeful once this is all over, Montgomery County will rise above and will come out on top, shining brightly for the world to see. God bless you and God bless Montgomery County.